Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Aries. If Aries is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so, Aries, our card tonight is the Moon card. So we'll see. What effect is this having on the whole vibe of things? I, for one, am all about that lunar energy. But I am somebody who likes a pretty strange life. I get bored with conventionality pretty quickly. So that lunar energy, right? It just makes things seem a little surreal. So let's take a look. We're gonna see here. And so if you would like to hit that like button, leave a comment, or subscribe, maybe do all three, I would be so appreciative. It really does help the channel a lot. It's free to subscribe. And I read all the comments, definitely. You will not be missed. I definitely will read your comment if you leave something there. Okay, so I have two people at least. Let's take a look. We have a person here. You can see the face right in here, the eyes, the nose, the head, wearing, it looks like an apron or a dress, holding on to, yeah, that looks like a chicken, doesn't it? Like a hen. Okay, we can see the beak up here, the head, the body, the little feet down here. Now, we also have, and I thought it was two people. No, we have 1, 2, 3. Okay, we have a person standing here. We have a person standing here. This looks like an older masculine energy, I would say. And this one, maybe a little younger. It feels more vibrant, right? Or energetic. Maybe energetic and vibrant. So I get this whole image in my head of a chicken being sold, right? Like at a market. But I want to look at this more symbolically. I feel like we have with the hen, right? We often have the mother archetype very tied to this particular bird, right? Often the birds indicate messages coming through, babies on the way, whispers and high thinking, right? We have the kind of raptor birds, or even the corvid birds, which are like crows and blue jays and ravens and this kind of thing. These are signs that we are going the right way. These are also birds that are resourceful, right? Very intelligent, resourceful. Now, the chicken, or the hen, I should say, the hen, she is the mother of many, right? She's the mother of many. And in this case, I feel like there's maybe stepping in to a role of being a mentor, a caretaker, a role model for somebody who maybe is not your own child by blood. This maybe is not somebody that you birthed or, partook in the process of creating. We'll say it that way. But you're still, maybe you're a step-parent. Maybe you are an adoptive parent. Maybe you're an older sibling who has raised this younger person. You might be a grandparent, or even the neighbor, right? You watch these kids sometimes, or you know, you've been involved in their lives over the years. And I feel like you offer this very kind of maternal. Now, you might be a man, right? Or identify as a man, and think, it's paternal, Lenor, paternal. Well, it gets pretty messy in there, right? It gets messy when we start thinking of the attributes and what they apply to. And I usually would say, yeah, this is just like a parental energy. But the mother and the father, they do have different roles, at least symbolically. Okay? That's not to say that we don't each contain those archetypes. You can be a man who is a father, or maybe a man who's never been a father, right? But you still have maternal instincts. And I know you're probably thinking, what the heck does that even mean? Well, yeah. You've had many mothers in your life. You've probably had a mother who bore you in some capacity. And so you learn. And you take on the attributes of all of the archetypes. So I look at this and you have a very maternal energy. And it cannot be applied just to gender. And that's really where I took the long way around here. But that's really what it comes down to. So I see you being somebody who has the capacity to love unconditionally in the right context. You are somebody who is devoted to those who you have chosen. Your chosen family, friends, acquaintances, whatever it is. Excuse me. And I feel you just renewed in this dynamic. And it could be that maybe you're older. Maybe you've raised your kids. They're gone. They're out in the world having their own kids. Maybe they're just really busy, right? They do. They get busy so quickly, and then they don't even want to hang out with you. My 4-year-old's getting to the point where she's starting to just do her own thing, and it goes by so quickly you can't even believe it. But I could see somebody coming into your life or being in your life and you taking an interest, you taking the time, you being there, teaching and here's the big thing. Talking to this child, this younger person, like a human being, right? Listening to them, remembering things that they're telling you, being on the level with them. And above, we have the little angel right here. And this leads me to believe that you are truly a guardian angel for them. And I tell you, this will be one of the big triumphs of your life. If that's how we can measure things, right? But it is one of the blessings of your life, this connection. And it will only grow. It will only grow. Now right here, it looks like if we kind of look at it a little bit this way, we have the butterfly. So this person, this child, this young adult, however, aged they are, is evolving within this friendship, within this relationship here. Now, we have the person behind them, and the person behind them does resemble the devil, And I'm just going to say that. So I feel that they have somebody within their life that is oppressive. There's somebody in their life that makes it hard for them. And it feels like a masculine energy. It absolutely, it does. And, you know, this is one of those parts of being involved in somebody's life. Well, you know, I'm sure I've never been a step parent, but I can imagine just from watching, you know, I know plenty of people who are step parents or their kids have step parents, and it's a tricky business, right? It's a lot of mental gymnastics to figure out how everybody is going to get on the same page, right? We hope, you know, that when everybody kind of moves on and finds new relationships, that these families can be blended easily, and there will be respect and there will be consideration and, you know, all the things. But it's not often that way, at least not all the time. And as a step parent, I imagine that is a hard position to be in because, yeah, I don't, you know, I'm sure after many years go by or years go by, you kind of grow into having, you know, about the same involvement as any parent would. But in those at least beginning years, right, when everybody's getting settled in, I can imagine it is difficult to know exactly where your place is, how, you know, where am I overstepping and this and that. And yeah, I could see that being something that it could be really exhausting. So I do feel like there is some energy of pushback. But I don't think this deters you because you are devoted to this child. And you're not somebody who's coming in to take over. I know that you're a respectful person. I know that you know, will consider everybody involved. That's just an Aries for you. You're not a self-centered kind of person at all, right? I can't imagine an Aries being, well, you know, coming in there and taking everything over and, you know, I don't think so. I think you want everybody to be okay, especially this kid. And so I do. I see you figuring it out, trying to navigate your way through this dynamic, okay? And it feels so important. It just does. I don't want it to be the entire reading here, but it is something that feels important, most definitely. Now, we have a person sitting up in bed, looking upwards. So I feel like we've had some bad dreams. I feel like this has to do possibly with money. And I think it also has to do with, now we have the person on the bed and they're standing here, they're looking up. But now we have a person right here. And it seems like a nightmare. Like I would just call this a ball of nightmare. But the head is right here. And I'm just going to say it. It looks like it's holding something that says F you. You can use your imagination, right? What that means, I don't know. But it feels like there's conflict in these dreams. Now, the bed also is a fish. You can see this large kind of koi fish here. Okay. We also have a person who is kind of walking away. So I feel like there's so much anxiety about being settled. And I think that's what it comes down to. A feeling of like trying to find yourself to the groove of things, right? Getting kind of locked in there. It's like the first, week of school. Not the first day when it's exciting and you're going to see everybody, but the first days when you've already seen, okay, these people are going to be in my class. I remember some of them, whatever, and now we're trying to figure out the routine of things and getting my homework done. And, it just kind of loses the sweetness of it all as the first day. And I feel like there just seems to be this kind of almost, it feels like a dread to some degree that something's going to go wrong, right? That you're not going to figure it out. And these dreams, they feel oppressive. They feel mysterious. They feel like they're not having much resolution. You're waking up and you're thinking, what the heck? Is the world just kind of, giving me the big F you, right? No, I don't think so. But I think it feels that way, right? And what is the difference between the two? If they are actually, or if it's just something you're perceiving, it feels very much the same, doesn't it? But I feel like this is maybe going to kind of be the catalyst to get you moving in a different direction. Now we have the night side here. We're in the moon, in the light of the moon. And what I like to say about the moon here is that we know when things are beneath the sun and illuminated, we can see them pretty clearly, right? Everything is as we assume it is, right? It kind of just seems like there is a clarity and illumination to everything, and so it is, right? Now, beneath the moon, the shadows are cast long. Everything looks a little bit bigger, darker and scarier, and the forms of things kind of meld into each other, right? It's like when you wake up in bed late at night and you think you see somebody in the corner and you think, oh my gosh, there's somebody in the chair in the corner. And you tread it quietly, grab your phone, and you turn on the light, right? If you're like me, I can't figure. I'm always like fumbling. How do I get the dang thing on? How do I get that flashlight on? And you turn it on, and then you see the person in the corner is a pile of clothing, right? It's not a person, just the shadows. But you had the same fear, right? As if it were a person. You hoped it wasn't. There's still that fear. And so I feel like in this time of the moon, right, we can easily succumb to those fears. To look at the world as a scary place, to look at our lives as a field just full of mines, right? Something's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen. I know it. I feel it. It's just, and you're living in that gloom, right? Or we can do as the absurdists. We can do as the artists. We can do as the poets, We can do as the magical people, the mystics and magicians and seers and so on. We can walk bravely into that night, into that moonlit landscape. And we can start to court the muse. Look for our inspiration. Look for the gifts that the night brings us. The clarity. Never have you had such a clear vision of your life than you have at 3 o'clock in the morning. When you've woken up, and yeah, sometimes it's in a panic, and you think, I have to get all these things done tomorrow. Oh my gosh, did I forget anything? And immediately your mind figures out, what is the process that I'm going to do all these things? How am I going to get all this stuff done? I know. Immediately it comes to you. Now, you can't do anything about it now, but there is the clarity to make a plan. And so we go out into that night with our vision, unencumbered by the pressures of the day. And we begin to create. And we begin to create the life that we want. When we start with a vision, we start with a dream, we start with that beautiful sky, all of those stars. We choose our stars. The stars are our dreams, our goals. And they are so tied to that beautiful moon. The moon allows us to see them more clearly. And I do. I see you. I see you going for it. I see you deciding. All right, let's see. We have JT as a name, or maybe part of a word. J and a T. We have an illuminating candle here. Some kind of revelation. We also have a bird. We have a storm. And we have a storm coming in. And really we do. Oh, I just was thinking about this. There's a hurricane coming into Florida. So of course we pray for our friends down along the southern East Coast into Florida, all the way up, whatever the path might be. Hopefully this one will be unremarkable. But the name of the hurricane, I think, is Helen, which, interestingly, my name, Lenor, that's my actual name. I know a lot of people think my name's Ula because of the channel. My name is not Ula. I wish. That's a great name. That is a goddess in my pantheon. Ula is. And anyways, Lenor means Helen. So Helen is the light. That's what it means, light, the light. And so I thought, well, kind of my namesake. Hopefully this one is not as volatile as myself. It should. I hope it will be okay. I don't know. I can't speak on these things. I do not predict the weather. But there's a storm here. And I think that this really is about change. It's about change. It's about being there for those who need you, those who seek you, those who you seek. Okay? And sometimes it takes a little bit of, chaos to get things really shooken up. And I feel like that's where you're at in your life. I feel like this is the beginning of kind of a big life transition for you. You're getting ready to go through a gateway into probably, I would say, a rite of passage into another part of your life. So if you're like 15, which listen, I don't think any 15-year-olds are watching this. But if you are, do your homework, okay? But, maybe you're going into young adulthood. Or more likely, you are going into middle age, or you're going from middle age into, maybe your elder years. I don't know. What is the golden years or beyond, even beyond that. So maybe into your, true adulthood, which I imagine is around, I don't know. Every year I get older, I push it back a year because I'll never make it there into my full adulthood. But I imagine, right? You're in your 50s, you're in your 60s, you're feeling like you have some insight about life until you get a little bit older and you realize, I didn't know anything at all. Just kidding. We go through these phases where, I finally understand what's going on. I know everything about everything. And then it's like, man, I don't know anything about anything, and so I feel like probably, you're on the cusp of a life change, okay, going into a new era of being. And, sometimes things got to get scattered around. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to take a look and check out these, oracles of the radiant sun. And I just want to see what's going on in this next little period of time. We're going to pick 3 cards. Okay, loss. This card, let me just tell you, keeps coming up in so many readings. And I'm like, what is going on? What is going on? Okay, loss, egotism, maybe not a bad thing then. Maybe not a bad thing, romance. Okay. Let's do, we gotta do 3 more. I'm excited here. Are we getting rid of just a terribly annoying person? Vision, assertion. Okay. So I don't know. Maybe you have had some romantic inclinations. Maybe you've been dating. Hey, maybe you've been married to this person for like years, right? I just don't feel like there's much care left here. There was romance at one time, but I think a lot of that is lost because this person, they don't think about anything but themselves. They don't think about their kids. They don't think about, their significant other. They don't think about their parents. They don't think about their family. They don't think about their community. They think about themselves. What is best for them, right? And this is not for you. Absolutely not. You are a person who is, generous, of course. We've talked about that a lot in our readings for Aries, right? Very generous, willing to basically give somebody the shirt off your back, right? Not only that, you are intensely intuitive. You have vision. You are probably clairvoyant in some capacity. Definitely have psychic abilities. I think you've just gotten to the point where you have to assert your well-being. Like, what is going to get you to your better well-being. Okay? And I see you kind of standing up for yourself, walking away. And that's really what it is. I think that, this is a situation where you've had to walk away. Now, I feel like this is probably something that's already happened. I don't think this is like you're going through a divorce right this minute, but I think that you have learned from this in the past. okay? And I feel like this is something that you call back up to yourself to remind you, I'm pretty dang strong. I've been through it. I have separated myself from a narcissist, and I survived, and I did well, and I'm doing well, and I'm, getting to a place where I will be thriving. Just some things need to be moved around in your life. And maybe you're looking for something that feels meaningful to you. But I don't think that you're worried about this person so much anymore. Unless, they come around, I'm sure, once in a while causing some problems, right? But you're not worried about it. You're not worried about it. I know it. All right, so we're going to do 3 lucky numbers from my big old 100-sided die. All right, we got 58. Number 58. Oh, right in the beak. I'm sorry, buddy. 58, 40. 40, 58, 40. 49, 58, 40, 49. Yesterday I feel so bad. I was like, I did my lucky numbers for whatever sign it was. And I'm like, these ones don't even feel lucky. They didn't. These ones do feel lucky though. The other ones, I don't know. There's just certain numbers that just don't feel lucky. One that really, 73, right? The number 73 does not feel lucky to me. Can you think of any numbers that just like they have like it's not even like a bad vibe or anything. It's just kind of like not my vibe. I'm going to pick 73 as being not my vibe. All right, so we're going to do our inner child oracle cards, and I'm going to flip through, stop where it feels right, and it says number 9, which is actually 7 plus 3 equals 9, right? Connect to eternity within. Let yourself be held by love. Let yourself be held by love. All right. Well, Aries, I want to tell you I love you. And I thank you for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Also, if you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I read them all. And if you're new to the channel, definitely shout it out in the comment section. And yeah, all right. I love you. Take care of yourself. We're going to talk in a few days. Good night. Good night. Good night.